Nelson Sopery. It is a lovely Sunday in, what month are we up? I've got to even think of that, February. So today I thought, look, we are going to be talking about inspiring, of course, how to succeed, because that is the thing we all want to know, and a little bit about maybe you need to make a few changes along the way. So I thought, look, we'll just go live on our Sunday, and I thought I'll tell you what I'm up to. Also, a little bit about, things that you can do to succeed if things aren't working, because let's be honest, we are not in the best times for anybody selling, whether you're in a shop, a major shopping center, online, markets, it does not matter. It's still very, very hard. Oh, good night from Ohio in USA. Well, today it is 11 a.m., my love, in Australia. I think generally we're about 18 hours in front of you. Sometimes we're not, depending on which part of the US you're in. But anyway, so thank you for joining. I know it is evening, and I'm sorry it's evening over there. Hello, Youthful Nectar Soap. How are you, my love? Southern Magnolia Candle and Soapery. A big shout out to you too. So thank you for joining me. Now, I thought what we're going to talk about today is we're going to just talk about a few things about succeeding. And look, as I say all the time, I'm not a big multi-million-dollar business. I don't earn over 100,000 a year or anything, but I can definitely that's okay, thank you, my love, but I can definitely see that every year I'm growing more and more. And that's what you want, because no business just says boom overnight. And the ones that do, if you're very, very minute few that happens to, usually they actually find it very difficult to cope with that massive influx of people and so on. So if all of a sudden I had 1,000 people on my site shopping, I would be sold out straight away. I'd panic. So that's the thing, you actually don't want that, although you in your heart you do, because you want the sales, you want to succeed, but honestly, on an honest level, you don't want that, because it's very hard to cope and keep that up. You want to slowly grow a little bit until you're at the stage of then maybe hiring somebody and so on. But I thought that is super important. Sorry if I'm going to flick things off, but I've had lots of TikTok messages this morning, so I'm going to flick them off if that comes on. So anyway, the first thing I thought, let's start from the beginning. So the main things, so if we're looking at, we'll break this down, things to improve, to get sales. So let's just talk about that for the sudden. The number one thing I'd say, and now I'm going to tell you a bit about what I'm doing as well, because that might give you context. So for instance, you've got ingredients and jars. So a lot of people like myself, I actually really like my recipes. My recipes people love. And, when I make something, they really love that. So I don't really want to change that. But if you've had people say something's way too drying or didn't work or was too squishy, then maybe, you might want to tweak your recipe a little bit. So that is one thing you can do. But now, when I went to an expo a week ago with a friend, she has beautiful packaging. A shout out to her. Wild Emery is her company, and she has lots of stores. Now, and she has the most beautiful packaging, and as she said to me, packaging is 50% of the battle, and she's 100% right. 50% is, that's where your battle is for products, because the thing is, people, especially if they're buying online, they don't get to smell it, touch it, look at it. They're just buying it from what they see on your photo. So of course the photos need to be good, but that also means your packaging, the way you present it, whether everything's consistent and neat, need to be, really good. And the second thing that I think is really important is, so we'll talk about if you're a candle company. So let's just pretend you're making candles. Now, a lot of the jars, look, they look nice. They might be clear or white. Now, the one thing I will say is everyone has a clear jar. And even on my site, they're clear at the moment. But that's the thing, everyone. You kind of don't stand out. Like, you're not going to stand out with just a clear jar like everybody else. That's the thing that I have to say. And it's been a long journey for me to really accept that, because I really want to be one of those people that buys from local suppliers and supports everybody. But at the end of the day, you need to be realistic with your business. If you go to a market and you see 10 other people or even 5 other people with the same jars you've got, maybe you need to to think, okay, I'm not really standing out here, am I? I'm just selling a candle, but I'm not standing out. So then maybe you need to look at jars. So I am going to be making some jars out of a product called Castmonite, which is basically Jasmonite. They have different variants in different countries, so do look out for that in your country. I know the US doesn't get Jasmonite, but there might be a variation in your country. So Australia made a variation because Jasmonite's very hard to get here too, and it's always sold out no matter where you go. So that's something, and I will also be making some in concrete. So hopefully, and I'm going to hope, so I've ordered some different containers, and when I actually get to that, I'm going to show you how I do it. And I've watched, I mean, honestly, well over 150 hours of videos of that. So I wish I could find the lady's name or remember her name. If I remember her YouTube channel, I will say it. If not, later on I'll put the links down, because she's very good if you want to make anything. And, you know, look, you need to make these in advance and so on, but concrete vessels to make are cheap. That's so much cheaper than a plain, boring glass jar. So unless you're doing a glass jar with, you know, a funny slogan or words across the top, I would really think about doing something different. And I'm not saying you have to do concrete, but it might just be something else. And also, when we're thinking about concrete, of course, that's heavier. But in a jar, it's not that heavy. I mean, candles are heavy anyway. But you can use something, like I said, a casting agent, as long as it's fire retardant, which Castmonite and Jasmonite is. And it's actually advertised as that. So, you know, that's the thing. If you use something like that, it's much lighter. So think about that anyway. And I don't think the concrete's going to be that much difference to a heavy glass jar, because the glass jars I use are very thick. Yeah, finding the point of difference, Joy. Yeah, sorry, I will read out the comments. And Joy was saying it is hard to find a difference. And she's 100% right, because, the candle market, it is very saturated, but it doesn't mean you can't succeed. It just means you need to be different. So, like, for instance, I've ordered some colours from the UK that are coming in so that I can colour my Castmonite. And, you need these strong pigments. You can't just use micas. I've done all of that. And the micas do look nice if you want a muted colour. And I do have a few muted ones. But generally, you want something that is bold. Or, maybe you're going to have something that looks like it's, dripping paint down the side. Maybe you're going to have something that has a stripe of paint. Maybe you're going to have half white, half black. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're going to do, just try and do it a little bit different. Or, because I think something like that really makes you stand out. And gift stores, they don't just want a clear candle. I mean, they can make that themselves. They can get it from anywhere. But once you're starting to make the jars, make everything else, that's something else. And of course, maybe you'll grow bigger and then you would need more people to help. But I just thought I would talk about that, because that is important. And that is the thing, I guess, why I'm going down the avenue of getting my own boxes made, because I'm not going to stand out without a box. I mean, let's be honest, anyone can make a lip balm, anyone, and lip balms are not that hard to make. So, but mine are in a box. They're not just on their own. So that is a huge selling point. Hello, Exotic Beauty. Brina, how are you, my love? Welcome today. So it's really important to find something that stands out. Hi, Priscilla. How are you, my love? Welcome to our Sunday chat at a little after 11 a.m. in the morning. It is in the morning here in Australia, so we are basically a day ahead of most of the world. I think maybe 8 hours above Indonesia in time frame. So like I said, whether you're making a lip balm, a soap, it doesn't matter. You just need something to be different. And can I tell you, everyone, since I changed my soap to, wrapping them professionally, I can't tell you the difference in sales. I have literally doubled my price of my soap, because I had to double it to be, realistic. Because before I couldn't even sell a soap for $6. I was struggling to do that. 7 p.m. for you. Okay, that's great. So then it's not too bad for you, is it, over in your country? So, but that's the thing, everyone. When I was doing soap, and look, it looked lovely. It was the same recipe. The only difference is the packaging wasn't there. So people weren't intrigued to grab it or wanted to buy it. And even when I put them on sale before, like we're talking, quite some time, I couldn't sell them. People were just not buying them. And I thought, why aren't you buying them? They're so good. And everyone loved them. But sometimes your family or your friends do not want to be honest. They don't want to say that packaging's garbage, and mine was garbage. I'm going to be honest. It was not good enough. Definitely was not good enough to be on the shelf. And sometimes you have to be realistic. And it doesn't mean you have to wrap them like mine. You might have a cigar band and that's fine. But think of a cigar band. So, for instance, if you think about it, a lot of people use craft or white paper. If you got a paper that was a rainbow one, it would just boom. It would look amazing compared to everything else. New Mexico. Hello, my darling. Welcome. Yes, and you've got me live. So, look, imagine that if, you're going from just cardboard to a rainbow color or something crazy. Have I found massage candles popular? I've not seen them here. I'm sure they're here, to be honest, but I've not seen them at all, and I've never been asked for one. So if you're thinking of making them, Joy, in Australia, I've not heard of them, but Australia is a little bit more conservative too, I think, to a lot of other countries. So because originally people came here from like England, Scotland, all of those places, so it was a bit more conservative. So I'm not sure, and that's important as well. And what was I talking about? Oh, that's right. So now if they're not selling, ask yourself, do you need to change your ingredients too? So for me, I originally started with certified palm, and it makes a beautiful bar of soap, but I realized really fast people didn't want it. And I started having people come to me at the market and say, oh my goodness, palm, disgusting, I won't use it. I used to make them and they weren't well received. Yep, someone else is saying the massage ones weren't well received either. Yeah, and this is the thing, everyone. I'm not saying palm's bad. It is a very good, but for my target market and where I was selling, generally people will come, and I had people really mean to me and say, disgusting, you should be ashamed of yourself selling that. And I needed to do a lot more research into it. And it doesn't matter what you believe or whatever, but if your customers are jumping up, and so that's why I really did rethink it. Oh, you're fine, Joy. You're welcome, darling. No problem at all. So, look, that is really super important to everybody. So please remember that. Think about what you're putting into it. And I had a lovely lady at one of the last markets I did, because I'm not doing them anymore. I've 100% decided that. She came up and she looked at the back of my moisturizers and she said, oh my goodness, she said, what you've got in that is so beautiful. And she said, oh, jojoba oil and whatever. She said, that's expensive. So a lot of people do understand that it's an expensive ingredient. They really do. So don't ever feel like people are going to say that's not an expensive ingredient. Often they do, and they realize it, and then they'll pay. And as I say all the time, my body butters for a small one is $23. They are not cheap to buy, but I know that the ingredients are there, and it costs me a lot more to make it than somebody else that might use, say, rice bran oil in it, or sunflower oil. I'm not using any of those oils, so all the oils and that I'm using are more expensive. So that comes back to, and and the one thing that I've learned along this journey is, even though I put beautiful ingredients, when I do a post, I don't say put a big banner with jojoba oil, for instance. So even though I know it's good, I'm not really relaying that to people I'm not really selling that enough by saying this is what's in it. And I should be doing that. And even, when you make the pictures to go on your website, you could put a banner across it saying with jojoba oil or whatever, or with shea butter or certified products. So that's the thing, and that is selling that thing. And I don't do that enough. I'm not good enough at doing that. But that is something I definitely suggest, and I need to really start to do those kind of things, which I will be changing a few things on my site to fix that up. So they're important. And another thing that I think really does sell your company is, before, what I used to do is, I'd have my things and the photos looked beautiful, but together I might have one that, a soap was this way, a soap was flat. And so when people were looking at my website, it didn't look consistent. It looked a little messy. And I think, you need it to look really neat. So now when you go on my site, you will see It's all the photos, the front photos. And when I say front, that means what you see at the homepage. That has the same images. But when you go into the image, then you could put a lifestyle picture of something sitting, in front of something else. Yeah, it's hard to learn that, Youthful Nectar, I know, and it's really hard to learn that not everyone's your customer, and we can't impress everyone. But, I think if your general audience that you're selling to are a certain way, you do need to really, think that as well. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that we wish we could say, and you're right, Joy, like we can't, as makers, unless you're a chemist, we can't say this is the benefit, and I never say there's a benefit in that. You can say on your site, using jojoba oil, jojoba oil is known to, do this or this, but at no stage are you saying that your product does that. You don't ever say that my product has this benefit. You cannot do that. You get yourself in a bit of trouble doing that. But you can definitely say, the oils, and you can say what the oils, are known for. You can say shea butter is known for this. So in a lot of mine, I can't remember whether I refixed the new one, but I used to have, what the oils did, so what certain oils brought to a soap, but I never said that, they had a benefit to my soap. So you can say what your soap is. This soap is, less cleansing than something else or whatever, but down the bottom you can write what oils are in it and what those oils are known for. So that's not saying a benefit. So there's kind of ways you can get around it. You just have to make sure that you're not saying that there's any benefit to your soap unless you are a certified chemist. So yeah, and especially in Australia, it's very strict that you can't do anything like that. Australia, I think, is very similar to the US, but a little bit more stricter. That's, and with us, the labeling is strict. Our label's quite strict here. So anyway, that's something, like I said. So look at your packaging, see if you need to change anything, and also look at the ingredients. And, like I said, if you're a candle maker, find something different. And I have these really cute little Greek, they're sort of like a little candle jar that I'm making. It has like a little Greek man David on the top of them. And so they're going to be really cute, but I'll probably only bring them in on Father's Day. But that's what I mean. You can bring something extra in, something that's a bit different. Or maybe you're, for Easter, maybe you could bring in a candle that had an egg on it or something. I don't know, but I do say on my site, and all of my labels say not intended for children, because that is important. When a child, goes to buy your candle, you really need to say, does mummy know you're buying this? And, I always explain to the mum, this is not intended for a child. Your absolute supervision must be there. So that's important too. Make sure you say those kind of things if you're selling at a market. Now, let's talk about how and where you can sell a little bit more. And I'm going to give a little bit of a shout out to Kelly. So Kelly is on my Patreon, and Kelly actually has a gallery. So I've put lots of links. I will put a link to this one for Kelly as well. And make sure you check out her gallery. But Kelly had the gallery. So then she thought, well, why don't I sell some beautiful candles and soap, because people are coming to the gallery. They want to buy things from her. And of course, when she starts making those products, she can sell them. So, you might have a milk bar, or your parents might have a milk bar. You might have, someone has a chemist shop, a little gift shop. Doesn't matter, wherever, and then you can actually start to bring those things, into it. So something like that, I think, is very smart. So if you're like Kelly and you do have, like a store or something else, then think about bringing those products, because they are add-on products that actually make you more money. So I think that is really important. And, one thing that I never do enough is like hand out flyers. You should hand out flyers, just hand them out to people. I mean, you can go to all your local shops and say, hey, this is what I've got. Honestly, if it was me, I would go to all my local shops, which I am planning on doing this, to make them a small candle or a soap, whatever you want, wrap it beautifully, and I would actually put that with a flyer in saying, this is my product, I'd love you to sell it, I have many more, check out my site. It gives them a product to hold in their hand to look at and smell, and it also gives them, all your details to go back and look at your store. And then I would follow that within, a week or so later. I would just give them a call and say, hi, just checking that, you loved my product, I'm happy, I'm open to suggestions. So That's what I mean. If you want to get in stores and things aren't doing well, you can do things like that. Like just ask them, can I, can I actually put it in your store? And sometimes you'll be amazed the amount of people that just didn't know you. So then they didn't find you. And I have actually found that lately where people have said, well, look, I didn't actually know of you, but I do love the product. Yep, sure. So those things are super important, everyone. Now, when we talk about revenue streams, and I've talked about this a bit, but we'll just mention it, we'll go over a couple times. When you've got a business, you don't want to depend on just sales. There might be other avenues where you're getting money. So it might still be sales, but maybe it's on Facebook, maybe it's on YouTube, maybe it's on TikTok. There's many other things, but I'm going to give you a few. So you can try out YouTube, of course, markets, events. There's lots of events, and plan your own event. There's plenty of places where you can plan your own event. Maybe you want to work with a group of people, hire some sort of hall or room and have an event and do a lot of advertising around it. That could be something. Market share. There's lots of market shares, which basically means you might just hire one shelf in a shop or something like that, or a corner, and then of course you have your products and things like that. So that's what I mean. They're really important things. Oh, okay, Joy. So Joy is saying she did like a party plan, which is what I'm sort of talking about, having your own event where she had all of her products. She just talked about what, they did, invited people along. They went there and bought the product. And this is what I say all the time. When you're doing things like this is sort of when you get known. And there's a lot of people that say to me, it's out of my comfort zone. I'm not comfortable doing that. And if you're not comfortable doing that, well, you need to rethink, is this for you? Because honestly, it's a hard gig. If you're, and even if you can't do markets or you can't do something else, there may be other things that you can do. So for instance, one of my daughters is quite successful. She's going to open a shop in the city, but as she said to me, she can't be there all the time because she has a baby. So she's going to hire someone full time to run the shop, and then she will go in a couple of days a week just to check on the store and, help out and things like that. So there's other things you can do if you can't personally be there. So just look into those other things. And there's so many Facebook groups that will help people out and give you little tips and tricks and things like that about what you can do. Another thing that you can do, of course, is, a lot of soaping guilds. I've seen them in the US a lot too, where you can actually advertise with them. So maybe and it's called like a supporter. So, for instance, for me, I have the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference, and on that we do have people that actually pay to have their name and their business details in the book that we give away. So we give away a book that's comes with the tickets. So that's like an ebook, or if you're there in person, you get a personal, actual physical book. And in that, it has like suppliers lists, recipes. It will also have, the advertisement for all these companies, so then you know where to go to get new things. So it's really important to maybe join those groups or ask them groups, can I advertise? If you've got some spare money, I would definitely think about it, because you have to remember that even though these are soaping guilds, they're not just people that are making soap. They'll have suppliers there. They will have coaches there. All these people have other people that say, do you know someone that does wholesales, candles or soap? Do you know someone that sells it? I need something in my store. And I've seen that happen quite a lot of times. And some at the last conference we had, because this is the second year coming up in just over a month. And the first year, we had a lot of suppliers say they got really busy and they were giving out details of people that they'd met there. So that's the thing. It's an opportunity for you to actually show your product and be there, because when you're there, you can network the room, you can talk to people, you can really include yourself. And if you're not there, some conferences like mine are online, so you can chat online. There is a chat group in mine, so people are logging in from lots of different countries. You can chat in that. If you're going to sell overseas, that's an opportunity for you to talk on there. You can definitely talk. There is no problem telling people what you do and those kind of things. I mean, obviously it's not a big spamming thing, but you can tell people what you do. And if there's people that reach out to me, I will give everyone's details. I don't give one. I will give everyone that has a ticket. Only people that have a ticket, I'll give out their details, and then you never know where that's going to go. And I have had people saying to me that other people have reached out to them. So that's the thing. Even as lots of you may have seen, I've started doing interviews with other soap and candle businesses. And each week we're hoping to bring one new one out. And in that, we just did one with Jan from the Champagne Soapery. And the one thing that Jan has probably noticed too is underneath that video, lots of people have, you know, even other YouTube companies, some of them, like Ali Everyday is, you know, an amazing company. I've learned so much from Ali Everyday. She's a YouTuber, and she's quite a big YouTuber, has a lot of following. Now, somebody like Ali has reached out and said, thank you for mentioning her, and so on. And, you know, we just mentioned her because she is really good. But that's the thing. Sometimes when you put yourself out there to do an interview or to come to a conference, you'll actually get other people reaching out. People, and I never thought doing these interviews we'd have anyone, you know, like these other companies reach out, like Dawn Organics reached out as well. And that's the thing, you know, you never know who's going to see your little business. And when I first started this, I never thought anyone would buy even one thing from me. So that's the thing. And it's just, you know, you never know where it's going to lead you. And I say this quite often. When I started, I never thought I'd open a conference, which is a soaping guild in Australia. And then when I started doing that, I realized that people wanted to log in virtually because there was no option for them in a lot of countries to log in. So then they can log into Australia. They can listen to, you know, whether it's suppliers, we have a Shopify person, inspirational speakers, and so on. And it is, if it's in person, if you come in person, it's actually a dinner. So, and then you get to network and wine and dine, make friends. So important, everyone. So, so important. Oh, yes. So, yeah, you're right, Joy. So, yeah, another option is definitely, as she said, you know, go to a mechanic shop. If you've created a bar of soap that's for mechanics or for tradies, go to companies and say, hey, you know, would you want to have my stuff in here? The worst they're going to say is no. Hi, Amanda. Welcome, my love. Welcome to a Sunday chat. So it's so important. I just can't explain how important it is to put yourself out there. And can I tell you, everyone, every time I'm going to do a Sunday chat or I'm at the conference, you know, you do get a bit anxious because you're like, well, this is live. I could bugger it up. You know, when it's not live, it doesn't matter to me at all. But that's the thing. You will get better at no matter what you do. And the same as the conference, I actually MC the whole conference. And this year, it's for 2 days. So if you want to get a ticket, you know, shameless plug, but just go over there, which is the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference.com. So it's not my normal website, it's a special website, and you buy the tickets, which is secure on that site. So it goes through a ticketing app. So that's the thing, everybody. You know, it's super important to put yourself out there. And the only way you're going to succeed, honestly, is joining groups, joining guilds, being involved. If you're not involved, you don't meet people. And can I tell you, when I did the first year of the conference, the amount of suppliers and people I met that I would never have met, that things they even told me, I thought, that's so good, I'm going to use that idea. Because they would say, hey, try this. I'd say, yeah, I'm going to try it. And it worked 100%. So this is the thing, you know, all of these things, you may think, I don't want to spend $50 or $100, but that money is so well spent because you're meeting and talking with so many people and people give ideas. So, you know, that's my main thing to say to everyone. Please get ideas from people and don't feel scared to step outside, you know, of what's comfortable because, you know, as they say, staying comfortable doesn't make you money. It's very, very true. Yeah, that's right. It's always the fear, Joy, you know, and you're right, because we all are scared that we're going to be turned down or being told no or that it's not good enough. But it is good enough. It's just, you know, you've got to step out of that. You have to push yourself. If you really want this, you will go into shops and introduce yourself. And I have to say a huge shout out to Tammy, because Tammy is, a person that has really struggled getting out of her comfort zone, but she's starting to get out of her comfort zone, give flyers to people, do more photos, do videos, and that's the way you're going to succeed. So, I'm so proud of Tammy, because I know what it's like when you're shy or anxious, or your life isn't the way you want it to be, and you just want it, you so want it to work, you can almost taste it. And she's stepped out of that comfort zone, and I know she has sold some products. So and she's very new at it, but this is what I'm saying, very, very important. That's right. And, selling one product means you are one step closer to selling more products, because it means one person knows you that didn't know you before. And don't worry if your family do not buy from you. I get so many emails and messages of people saying, my family don't buy from me, they don't support me, it's a waste of my time. Well, they're not your target market. I mean, if we all sold to our family, after you sell to 20 people, you're done and you can't sell anymore. You need the market of strangers. Strangers spend more than family, I promise you that. I have, people that come back and buy regularly from me, and hundreds or thousands of dollars in sales from these, one or two different people, or even more. But family might buy one or two things and that's it. So do not look at your family as your target market. They are not. You may love them, but, often they want something for free, or they want to try it out, but often they don't want to buy it. They don't want to pay, because they think, why should I buy it? You're my family. I'm not going to pay you. So that's the thing. But a customer will pay. So please don't worry about that. And I thought, while I'm here, I'll show you this, because everyone has seen that I've been doing some videos. So here are my little new card diffusers, so if we can show them. This one has glitter in the bottom, and I've just been having the tops, if you can see that. So these have been etched, so they've been on a laser machine, which my daughter has bought, a very expensive laser machine, but you can go to companies that etch them as well. Hello, Dawn Organics, how are you? Welcome, lovelies, to our Sunday chat. So you can definitely go and get things like this done, everybody. Getting them etched, just Google where you can actually get them done. If anybody wants something done, you can ask. I know my daughter is going to do it. She hasn't done it yet, but her company is Honey Blue You. So just email her through her website, and I'm sure if you're in Melbourne, Australia, even if you're in another country, whatever, you can just send them and she'll do them and send them back. But anyway, deal with her, or, and she might be able to give you some other places to go if she can't do it. But it's really, honestly, rather than just having this, which is pretty plain if you look at it like that, and then if you look at it like that, it just looks more professional. I really think so. Yeah, Joy, you're right, my love. I do think they are super, super cool, and I really love them. So that one there is going to be my watermelon. It has a little bit of glitter, and then, of course, you go to these particular ones here as well. Yeah, that's right, love. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And somebody's just saying here, a lot of people just want it for free in her family. And that's what I say. They're not your target market. Do not worry about your family buying from you. Because, I always say, at the end of the day, your family love you, but it doesn't mean they want to buy all your stuff. They, I often get people say, oh, you got so much soap in here. Could I just have one? And I think, well, no, they're meant to be for sale. And, this is the thing, That's right, Dawn Organics. I mean, you've got to laugh because, your family often think, like they come in and they say, oh, look, how much? I mean, I get people say, you've got 800 or more soap in here. Surely I could just have one. Well, that's one less I can't sell. So, that's the thing. I mean, you've got to laugh at it. But at the end of the day, you just got to go, it's not my target market. Move on. And find other avenues, and like I said, other revenue streams to make money. It's so important. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they do. And often they just walk in and go, yeah, give me the soap, and then they walk out and don't buy it. And you think, oh, damn it, And, like if it's your family, maybe you can say to your family, if you want to buy it, no problem, a 20% off family discount. Or as my ex-brother-in-law would have said, mates rates or something, So, but that's the thing. You can give a discount, but sometimes you need to be strong and say, no, it's not for free. Whereas one of my daughters has another business, so she can take stuff and she gives me stuff of hers, so it's a bit of a swap, and that's okay, that's fine. But as I said, find other revenue streams. Lovely. Oh, that's funny. So you had other families buy them and said they didn't want them. That's so hilarious. Yeah, and that's the thing too. I've seen that a lot. Oh, thank you. That is so nice that you say that I've inspired you. And I really hope so, because as I say, I'm just a mum from the suburb. I'm not a wealthy person. As I say, and on my channel, I don't have 100,000 followers or anything like that, but I really wanted just to inspire just average everyday people to say, you can do this, give this a go. Some of the biggest countries in the world have started as small individual people working out of their garage or their spare bedroom or the back of the balcony. It doesn't mean you can't. And when I started this, I never, honestly, I can't tell you how much, I never thought I would even have 100 people follow me on YouTube. And, when I started getting up into the thousands, I was like, really? And that really did shock me how much people followed me. And I honestly was so shocked. And I'm still shocked. And even with the conference, my conference has only been going for a year. To have 35 people in the first year in person, and dozens of people online from 6 different countries in the first year, to me that was amazing. And I thought if I got 20 people, I was excited. And that's the thing. And sometimes I get really down on myself for that. And I always have to remind myself, hey, people are paying for this ticket and they've never seen anything like this in Australia. So they're trusting me with their money when they buy a ticket. And can I tell you, myself, Chrissy and Carly, they work around the clock. We all work, volunteer for this around the clock to get this conference off the ground, because Australians need something like this. We desperately need it to push small businesses out there, especially mum and dad businesses. We need to be able to push those businesses out, because otherwise in Australia, everyone just goes to the big giants and they forget about the small people because they're not seeing us. So we need a way to be seen, and by bringing all these guest speakers in, then they start talking in their industry. So like this year we have a Shopify expert, we have like a candle coach that has actually, she's been supporting us. You can check her out on our site. So there's links to all these people that support us on there as well. And that's what I mean. Those people then tell other people, and then your name or your business name starts getting out there further and further. And that's what you mean. You just need all of that. Oh, yeah, Joy, I've seen that, my love. Yeah. Oh, that's right, Dawn Organics. And can I tell you, when I started this conference, I had so many days of crying, because I'm like, who's going to follow me? Who's going to support me? I was so worried that nobody would support me. I really was so worried that it wouldn't be supported. The first year I ran at a loss because I had to put my own money in it. And hopefully this year we'll break it even. And then, as going forward, we can't give up, and that's why I say I just can't give up. I just have to do it for a 5-year plan. My husband's like, oh, should we be doing this? But that's the thing. I know it is working, because other small businesses that came the first year are telling me they made sales from people there, and that's our idea, is to also interview people and put those people on the screen so that other people watching can see these interviews in the background as well, and can start to really see other companies. So if anyone wants to come to that conference, please support us, whether you're online or in person, because there is actually a discount on it only for February. So this year's tickets, there's 25% off for 2023, and for 2024, because the tickets are released, they are selling at 35% off, but there will never be that discount again. The 30% is usually the most we ever do. So if you don't get the 2024 now, then after, when the conference starts, then they will go down to 30% for only 3 days, and then down to normal price. So definitely grab them if you can. And in the 2024, just to let everyone know, and this is what I mean about growth, I'm actually surprised, but we've had a number of people buy the 2024 tickets already. And that's more than a year in advance. It happens March every year. So that's the thing. People have definitely been buying those tickets. So I think it works out to be about $50 with the discount online tickets for 2024. So that's an absolute bargain. And then, of course, you can see all of these things and you'll get the ebook and so on. So hopefully that really does help. Yeah, Joy, that's right. And I do think that face-to-face, a lot of people love to meet me, and, you know, and not just me, but many other people. Soy and Shay will be there this year, and Keely is an amazing wealth of knowledge. And I'm sure Keely is going to be as gracious as she always is, you know, answering people's questions and saying hi. Because that's the thing. We're there to help as well. We're not just there to show what we do. We are generally there to help newcomers and people on the market. So I can't, you know, tell you how valuable it honestly really is. Yeah, Keely is amazing, Dawn Organic. She really is. And when we reached out to Keely to ask her to do a lotion, she was so lovely. And she, you know, she said she felt so honored to do it. And that's the thing. Can I tell everyone on here, people like Keely from Soy and Shay, you know, House of Cart, all of these other people, they don't come for free. They are actually paying for their ticket to be there, just like you are. So Keely did not get paid or anything. She actually paid for her ticket, and she's paid for accommodation, flights, everything to come. So that's what I want to say, that is super important. These speakers are actually paying for their tickets. Yeah, I admire her work ethic so much too, you know. And before I started doing this, I did watch Soy and Shay, and I still watch her. I said that in a video the other day. I only watched her last week. You know, and that's the thing. You want to keep supporting people, because people like myself, the conference, Soy and Shay, it doesn't matter. Whatever country you're in, Royalty Soaps, I know they're big, but if people stop supporting them or watching them, then they stop. So then we don't get educated, whether it's for free or whether it's in person. So anyway, I've spoken about that enough, but if you want to support it, like I said, definitely go over there, and we would love to support it as well. Oh, that's okay, Dawn Organics. And that's what I said, you know, like Dawn Organics were just saying, nice to finally know who I am. And that's what I say, everyone. Don't give up in 6 months. You need to do this for years, because people will not find you otherwise. Oh, yeah, you're right, Joy. Keely is so clever with the soap dough and things like that. And can I tell you, she is actually donating some products. So anyone that comes in person actually gets a bag of goodies from all the different suppliers, actually give things. We'll also have 3 $50 vouchers given away from Sud Off. And basically they just give them to you. You go on their site and buy whatever you want. Also, every year, Pure Candle Supplies, they give away a voucher. They gave away a $100 voucher last year, so they are extremely supportive to us, and we can't thank them enough. They'll be there again showing how to make a pillar mold this year, pillar candle molds. So, you know, they are really, really lovely. Like, there's some just really amazing people that, you know, support us. Deluxe Shea Butter, that's an amazing company. They came last year and talked, and they support us as well. So a massive shout out to Deluxe Shea. If you are looking for certified fair trade shea butter, cocoa butters, and so many other products, please go and check them out. They are just such an ethical company and just beautiful. It's 2 brothers working together. Their aunt helped them set all of that up originally. But I love their story, and we will be showing one of their brand new videos behind the scenes about, you know, how the women actually make the shea. Because I thought shea was this big nut, you know, but it's only the tiny bit inside the nut that actually makes shea butter. Hence the price of the butter. So there's so many people that support us, and like I said, I'm really just, you know, there's just so many companies, Sense and Suds, Scrinson & Co. They're another company, a candle company that support us and are giving out gifts. So that's what I mean. There's so many. So anyway, please support us, everybody. Would just love you to support an Aussie idea, and hopefully we can just keep this off the ground. I don't want to give this up if I don't have to, but we need people to come along to keep it going. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed our Sunday chat, everyone. Thank you for your amazing, lovely, gorgeous people joining me, taking away your Sunday. Or if you're in the US, I know it is Saturday night. Please look out for some of my new interviews. I have some interviews with some people in the US coming as well. I'm very, very excited about interviewing some people in New York and some other places as well over in the US. So, or through my Patreon. Anyway, bye, my loves, and I will see you next week. Bye.